Welcome to our channel. Today we delve into one of the most perplexing and unsettling mysteries in recent history, the disappearance of the Springfield Three. On June 7, 1992, the quiet town of Springfield, Missouri, was rocked by the inexplicable vanishing of three women: Sherrill Levitt, her daughter Suzie Streeter, and Suzie's friend Stacy McCall. The trio was last seen at around 2 a.m. after returning to Sherrill's home following a graduation party. What happened next remains an enigma, as the women seem to have disappeared without a trace. No signs of a struggle, no ransom notes, and no credible sightings have surfaced in the decades since. In this video, we will piece together the fragments of this baffling case, exploring the timeline, the evidence, and the theories that have emerged over the years. Join us as we unravel the chilling mystery of the Springfield Three. As we continue to unravel the mystery of the Springfield Three, let's take a closer look at the last known moments of Sherrill Levitt, Suzie Streeter, and Stacy McCall. The evening of June 6, 1992, was supposed to be a night of celebration. Suzie and Stacy had just graduated from high school, and the two friends attended several parties throughout the night. They were last seen leaving a friend's house at around 2 a.m., heading towards Suzie's home where her mother, Sherrill, was already asleep. The women arrived at the house located at 1717 East Delmar Street, a modest and cozy home in a quiet suburban neighborhood. They parked their cars in the driveway, Suzie's red Ford Escort and Stacy's Toyota Corolla. Inside, everything seemed normal. The beds were made, personal belongings were in place, and there were no signs of a struggle. Sherrill's bed appeared to have been slept in, but the women were nowhere to be found. The next morning, friends and family became concerned when they couldn't reach any of the three women. Stacy's mother, Janice McCall, arrived at the house to find it eerily quiet. The front door was unlocked, and the family dog, Cinnamon, was unusually agitated. Janice noticed that all three women's cars were still parked outside, but there was no sign of Sherrill, Suzie, or Stacy inside the house. The only thing out of place was a broken porch light, which would later become a puzzling piece of evidence. The last known moments of the Springfield Three paint a chilling picture. From the joyous celebrations of graduation night to the eerie silence of an empty home, the timeline is filled with unanswered questions. How did these women vanish without a trace? What happened inside that house in the early hours of June 7, 1992? As we delve deeper into the investigation, we will explore the various theories and clues that have emerged over the years. Stay with us as we continue to piece together the fragments of this haunting mystery. As we step into the heart of the mystery, we find ourselves at the crime scene, the home of Sherrill Levitt, Suzie Streeter, and Stacy McCall. This house, located at 1717 East Delmar Street, is where the women were last known to be before they vanished without a trace. The house itself seemed untouched by the chaos that had enveloped the lives of those searching for the Springfield Three. The living room was neat, with furniture arranged just as it should be. Family photos adorned the walls, capturing moments of happiness and normalcy. Yet the silence within these walls was deafening, a stark reminder of the inexplicable disappearance. Each room told a story. Sherrill's bedroom, where the bed appeared to have been slept in, suggested she was there the night before. Suzie's room, filled with the personal belongings of an 18-year-old girl, was as she had left it, brimming with dreams and plans for the future. Stacy's overnight bag was in the corner, packed with the essentials for a sleepover that never came to be. The kitchen, often the heart of any home, was eerily quiet. The coffee pot, unused. The breakfast table, untouched. It was as if time had frozen in this suburban sanctuary. Outside, the broken porch light stood as a silent witness to the events of that fateful night. Was it a sign of a struggle, an accidental break, or perhaps a deliberate act meant to send a message? The broken glass on the ground added an element of foreboding to the otherwise serene setting. The family dog, Cinnamon, was another peculiar detail. Usually calm and friendly, Cinnamon was found agitated and unsettled, adding to the growing list of anomalies that baffled investigators. Despite the meticulous search by law enforcement, No concrete evidence was found within the house. No signs of forced entry, no struggle, no clues left behind. The home, while physically intact, was now shrouded in an unsettling mystery. The unanswered questions lingered in the air. What happened inside this home on the night of June 6, 1992? How did 3 women disappear without leaving a single trace? The serene suburban house had become a haunting symbol of a mystery that continues to elude resolution. As we continue our journey into the depths of this case, we move from the eerie silence of the crime scene to the broader investigation that followed. What theories emerged? What clues were uncovered? Join us as we endeavor to unravel the chilling mystery of the Springfield Three. As the investigation into the Springfield Three's disappearance continued, one detail began to stand out: a sighting of a mysterious green van. Several witnesses reported seeing a van parked near Sherrill Levitt's home on the night of June 6, 1992. This seemingly insignificant detail would soon become a focal point in the search for answers. The van was described as an older model, possibly a Dodge or a Ford, with a faded green paint job. It was seen idling near the house in the late evening hours, but no one could recall seeing the driver. Neighbors mentioned that it seemed out of place, a strange vehicle in an otherwise familiar neighborhood. The sighting of the green van was eerie, adding another layer of mystery to an already perplexing case. Investigators initially dismissed the sighting as a coincidence, but as more reports came in, they began to take it seriously. Could this van be connected to the disappearance of Sherrill, Suzie, and Stacy? The police issued a public appeal, asking anyone with information about the van or its driver to come forward. Despite their efforts, no concrete leads emerged. The green van quickly became a symbol of the unknown, a haunting clue that seemed to slip through the fingers of investigators. The community was on edge, with residents keeping a watchful eye out for any sign of the vehicle. Theories began to circulate. Was the van used to transport the women? Did the driver know them, or was it a random act of violence? As days turned into weeks, the green van sightings dwindled, and the trail grew cold. The mysterious vehicle had vanished just as suddenly as it had appeared, leaving behind only questions and speculation. The haunting image of the green van lingered in the minds of those who followed the case, a chilling reminder of the night the Springfield Three disappeared. Even years later, the green van remains one of the most intriguing and unsettling aspects of the case. It serves as a symbol of the many unanswered questions and the elusive nature of the truth. What role did it play in the disappearance of Sherrill, Suzie, and Stacy? Was it a key piece of evidence, or just a red herring? The mystery of the green van continues to haunt the investigation, a ghostly presence in the search for the Springfield Three. As we move forward in our exploration of this chilling case, we will delve deeper into the theories and clues that have emerged over the years. Join us as we continue to unravel the enigma of the Springfield Three and search for the truth behind their disappearance. As the investigation into the disappearance of the Springfield Three continued, various theories and potential suspects began to emerge. Each one added a new layer of complexity to an already baffling case. Let's delve into some of the most compelling theories and suspects that have surfaced over the years. One of the earliest theories suggested that the women were taken by someone they knew. This theory gained traction due to the lack of forced entry and the seemingly undisturbed state of the home. Could the perpetrator have been a trusted friend or acquaintance? Someone who had easy access to the house and the ability to lure the women away without raising suspicion? Another prominent theory revolves around a local man named Robert Craig Cox. Cox was a convicted kidnapper and murderer who was living in Springfield at the time of the disappearance. He had a history of violent behavior and a penchant for targeting women. Cox was interviewed by the police and provided an alibi, but his statements were inconsistent. Years later, while in prison for another crime, Cox claimed to know what happened to the Springfield Three, but refused to provide details. His cryptic comments have fueled speculation and suspicion, but no concrete evidence has linked him to the case. A more sinister theory suggests that the women were victims of human trafficking. The idea that they were abducted and sold into a trafficking ring has been considered, especially given the lack of physical evidence and the complete disappearance of all three women. This theory, while chilling, remains speculative due to the absence of any supporting evidence. The possibility of a botched robbery also cannot be ruled out. Some believe that the women may have interrupted a burglary in progress, leading to their abduction and possible murder. However, the lack of signs of struggle or forced entry complicates this theory. If it was a robbery, why was nothing stolen? And how did the perpetrator manage to subdue and remove three women without leaving any trace? Lastly, there are those who believe that organized crime could be involved. This theory posits that the women may have been inadvertently caught up in a larger criminal operation, perhaps as witnesses to something they shouldn't have seen. The involvement of organized crime could explain the thoroughness with which the women were made to disappear, leaving no clues behind. Despite the numerous theories and potential suspects, the case remains unsolved. Each theory presents its own set of questions and challenges, and investigators have yet to find definitive answers. The mystery of the Springfield Three continues to captivate and confound, a puzzle that has yet to be pieced together. As we move forward, we will explore the efforts made by law enforcement and the community to uncover the truth. Join us as we continue to unravel the enigma of the Springfield Three and search for the answers that have eluded us for so long. One of the most chilling aspects of the Springfield Three case revolves around a series of disturbing phone calls received shortly after the disappearance. These calls have added an element of eerie mystery to an already perplexing case. In the days following the disappearance, friends and family of Sherrill, Suzie, and Stacy reported receiving a number of unsettling phone calls. These calls were often brief and cryptic, with the caller either remaining silent or making vague, unsettling statements. The origin of these calls remains unknown, but they have left a lasting impression on those who received them. One particular call stands out. It was received by Janelle Kirby, a close friend of Stacy McCall. Janelle reported that the caller's voice was low and menacing, speaking in a tone that sent shivers down her spine. The caller simply said, "You'll never find them," before abruptly hanging up. This call has haunted Janelle ever since, leaving her with a sense of dread and helplessness. Another call was received by Sherrill Levitt's mother, who described the experience as deeply unsettling. The caller remained silent, but the heavy breathing on the other end of the line conveyed a sense of malevolence. This silence was more terrifying than any words could have been, leaving Sherrill's mother with a lingering sense of fear and uncertainty. These disturbing phone calls have fueled numerous theories about the fate of the Springfield Three. Some believe that the calls were made by the perpetrator, taunting the families and friends of the missing women. Others suggest that the calls were a cruel prank, designed to exploit the pain and fear of those involved. Regardless of their origin, the calls have added a haunting layer to the mystery. The police investigated these phone calls, but were unable to trace their origin. The lack of concrete evidence has only deepened the enigma, leaving investigators and the public alike grasping for answers. The chilling nature of these calls serves as a stark reminder of the uncertainty and fear that surrounds the case. As we continue to explore the mystery of the Springfield Three, these disturbing phone calls stand as a testament to the darkness that can lurk behind the most ordinary of facades. They remind us that, even in a close-knit community, the unknown can be just a phone call away. Stay tuned as we delve deeper into the investigation and uncover more about the efforts made to solve this haunting case. The disappearance of the Springfield Three sent shockwaves through the community, leaving friends, family, and neighbors in a state of disbelief and fear. Springfield, a town known for its close-knit community and peaceful atmosphere, was suddenly thrust into the harsh spotlight of a national mystery. As the news of the disappearance spread, the community rallied together in an unprecedented show of solidarity. Vigils were held, with candles illuminating the night as prayers and hopes for the safe return of Sherrill, Suzie, and Stacy filled the air. The local church became a hub for support, offering a place for people to come together, share their fears, and find solace. Volunteers from all walks of life joined forces with the police, scouring every corner of the town and beyond. Flyers with the women's faces were plastered on every available surface, and search parties combed through nearby forests, fields, and rural roads, hoping to find any trace of the missing women. The sense of urgency and determination was palpable, as everyone hoped for a breakthrough that would bring the women home. Local businesses donated resources, from printing flyers to providing food and supplies for the search teams. The media played a crucial role, keeping the story alive and in the public eye, ensuring that the disappearance of the Springfield Three was never far from people's minds. Despite the tireless efforts, days turned into weeks, and the initial hope began to wane. The community's spirit, however, remained unbroken. Fundraisers were organized to support the families, and a reward fund was established in the hopes of encouraging anyone with information to come forward. The disappearance of the Springfield Three left an indelible mark on the community, a constant reminder of the fragility of safety and the harsh reality that such a tragedy could happen anywhere. The case remains a haunting chapter in Springfield's history, a mystery that has yet to be solved. The community's response was a testament to their resilience and unity, a beacon of hope in the face of an unimaginable tragedy. As we continue to explore the mystery of the Springfield Three, we remember the strength and compassion of those who came together in a time of crisis, and the enduring hope that one day the truth will be uncovered. Stay with us as we delve deeper into the investigation and uncover more about the efforts made to solve this haunting case. Despite the tireless efforts of law enforcement and the community, the case of the Springfield Three has seen numerous leads that ultimately led to dead ends. However, every so often, a new piece of information surfaces that reignites hope and renews the search for answers. One of the most intriguing developments came in the early 2000s when a convicted felon, Robert Craig Cox, claimed to know the whereabouts of the missing women. Cox, who was already serving time for unrelated charges, suggested that the women were buried somewhere in Springfield. Despite his claims, Cox has never provided concrete evidence, and his statements have been largely dismissed as unreliable. In another twist, a former journalist named Kathy Baird conducted her own investigation and believed she had identified a possible burial site. Working with a team of researchers, Baird used ground-penetrating radar to scan a parking lot in Springfield. The radar detected 3 anomalies, but despite this promising lead, authorities have yet to excavate the site, citing insufficient evidence to warrant such an action. The case also saw a resurgence of interest in 2010 when the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children released age-progressed images of Sherrill, Suzie, and Stacy. These images offered a haunting glimpse of what the women might look like today, serving as a stark reminder of the years that have passed without answers. Over the decades, numerous psychics and amateur sleuths have offered their theories, each one adding to the complex web of speculation surrounding the case. While some of these theories are far-fetched, they keep the conversation alive and ensure that the Springfield Three are not forgotten. So, where does this leave us? The case remains open, with law enforcement continuing to follow up on any credible leads. The families of Sherrill, Suzie, and Stacy hold on to hope, no matter how faint, that one day they will find closure. As we move forward, it's crucial to remember that every piece of information, no matter how small, could be the key to unlocking this decades-old mystery. If you have any information, no matter how insignificant it may seem, please contact the authorities. Your tip could be the one that finally brings the Springfield Three home. Stay with us as we continue to unravel the chilling mystery of the Springfield Three. Up next, we'll delve into the theories and suspects that have emerged over the years and examine the evidence, or lack thereof, that has kept this case unsolved for so long. As we delve deeper into the case of the Springfield Three, we encounter a labyrinth of theories and unanswered questions that have haunted investigators and the community alike for over 3 decades. Each theory brings with it a glimmer of hope, but also a shadow of doubt, leaving us to ponder. What really happened to Sherrill Levitt, Suzie Streeter, and Stacy McCall? One of the most persistent theories is that the women were victims of a targeted abduction. Some speculate that someone close to them, perhaps a friend or acquaintance, gained their trust and lured them away. This theory is supported by the lack of forced entry and the seemingly normal state of the house. But who could have committed such a heinous act, and why? No suspects have ever been definitively identified, leaving this theory shrouded in mystery. Another chilling possibility is that the women were taken by a serial killer. Robert Craig Cox, a convicted felon, claimed to know the whereabouts of the Springfield Three, suggesting they were buried somewhere in the city. Despite his claims, Cox has never provided concrete evidence, and many dismiss his statements as unreliable. Yet the idea of a serial predator lurking in Springfield adds a terrifying dimension to the case. Then there's the theory of a botched robbery. Some believe the women may have surprised intruders who then took drastic measures to cover their tracks. However, the lack of evidence of a struggle or theft makes this theory less convincing. The broken porch light and the erased voicemail are intriguing clues, but they haven't led to any solid conclusions. Could the women have been victims of human trafficking? This theory suggests they were abducted and sold into a criminal network, possibly taken far from Springfield. It's a horrifying thought, but one that fits with the complete disappearance of the women without a trace. Finally, we must consider the possibility of a cover-up. Could someone in a position of power have orchestrated the disappearance and ensured that no evidence would surface? This theory is often dismissed as far-fetched, but in a case with so few answers, every possibility must be considered. Each theory, while compelling, ultimately raises more questions than it answers. The lack of physical evidence, eyewitnesses, and concrete leads has turned the case of the Springfield Three into a perplexing enigma. As we continue to search for the truth, we must keep an open mind and consider every angle, no matter how improbable it may seem. What do you think happened to the Springfield Three? Share your theories in the comments below. Your insight could be the key to unraveling this decades-old mystery. Stay tuned as we move to our final chapter, where we attempt to piece together the puzzle and uncover the chilling mystery of the Springfield Three. As we come to the conclusion of this haunting tale, we are left with more questions than answers. The disappearance of Sherrill Levitt, Suzie Streeter, and Stacy McCall remains one of the most perplexing and enduring mysteries in true crime history. Over the past 3 decades, the case has generated countless theories, each one adding a new layer to the enigma. It's a story that has captivated the minds of investigators, true crime enthusiasts, and the public alike, each hoping to uncover the truth behind the vanishing of the Springfield Three. The community of Springfield, once a symbol of safety and tranquility, now carries the weight of an unsolved mystery that has left an indelible mark on its history. Despite the numerous efforts by law enforcement, private investigators, and amateur sleuths, the case remains cold. The broken porch light, the erased voicemail, and the eerie silence of that fateful night continue to haunt our collective consciousness. The lack of physical evidence, the absence of witnesses, and the sheer disappearance of 3 women without a trace defy logical explanation. Yet, in the face of these unanswered questions, we must remember the human aspect of this mystery. Sherrill, Suzie, and Stacy were more than just names on a missing persons report. They were mothers, daughters, and friends whose lives were abruptly and inexplicably cut short. Their families continue to seek closure, their pain a poignant reminder of the profound impact this case has had on those left behind. As we reflect on the enduring mystery of the Springfield Three, we are reminded of the fragility of life and the importance of community. The search for answers may continue, but the legacy of Sherrill, Suzie, and Stacy lives on in the hearts of those who knew and loved them. Thank you for joining us on this journey into one of the most chilling, unsolved cases in true crime history. Stay curious, stay vigilant, and perhaps one day, the truth will finally be revealed.